So, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm bald, I know, it's shocking. I am here with Tommy Tellerico because he wanted to come on and get rough questions, not just for me, but from you.
Because the whole thing is people always say, oh, people never ask you the hard questions and blah, blah, blah. And I always say, look, anyone can ask me anything. I have nothing to hide. And I love talking to the folks and I love talking to you, Rich. You gotta have the games. And people who look at our games, and I've seen a couple of haters, again, there's a handful of haters in the thing here. I'm watching what people are saying. And they're like, yo, your games look like crap. 600 years experience, but your games look like crap. Can I tell you what kind of person puts graphics over playability and fun? Playability and fun. I'm looking at the definition of shill, and it says an accomplice of a swindler who acts as an enthusiastic customer to entice or encourage others. That was nothing of what you're. So forget the money. It doesn't even have to do with money. The definition of shill doesn't have to do with money or shirts or anything. It's just, the definition of a shill is if you were to, if I were to tell you, hey, Rich, let's convince your people to buy an Amico, and you said, yeah, let's do that. That's a shill, and that's not what happens.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do that because if I didn't like it, if it's something I want to sell to people, you guys know it just happened to me with those dumbass headphones from anonymous company that I won't mention. They had a fake iPod or EarPods that didn't work right. They knew it didn't work right, as he's holding up his phones. They knew they didn't work right, but they still wanted me to sell them, and they tried to threaten me to sell them, and I still told them to piss off, and then finally they were like, all right, the threat didn't work, we're going. So no, I wouldn't do that.
Well, the other thing though, Rich, is that how insulting to you, as if you could be bought off. You're a guy who's worked his ass off. You have over, how many people you got following? Almost 900,000 subscribers, and so you could be bought off for a freaking $40 sweatshirt? Like, seriously? Like, that's insulting.
Apparently so. I don't know. Apparently so. And that's why, like, I'm not kidding, guys. Like, you can ask me, like, okay, so Google Fish is a good question. Will the games be digital or will they be purchasable physically somehow? I'm assuming digital only might hear from the
No, not at all, Rich. And your friend is absolutely, it's digital and physical. We got such cool stuff that we're going to be reviewing.
I just don't see I should have asked it. That's where I suck with the initial review.
You're not.
I was curious of that. I never asked.
Yeah. So basically, we have something that we haven't announced officially yet. But here's the great thing: no matter what you like to collect, maybe you like to collect cartridges, maybe you like to collect cards, maybe you like to collect action figures, maybe you like to collect cards, cars, whatever. We're going to have options available for everyone. So physical media in our retail stores are all going to be limited editions. They're all going to be specific to different places. And we have the partnerships we have are with some of the biggest brands in the world. We're going to start to be announcing next month. The biggest brands in the world.
Now you're not going to pull a Nintendo Switch where you get a box and there's a puff of smoke that comes out, is it?
Puff of smoke?
There's nothing in the box. Like when Nintendo sells games at GameStop physically, you open it up, it says here's a code down.
No, that would suck.
Okay.
No.
Because that drives me insane. Like the people think they're going to get a physical goddamn copy of the game for the Switch, they open it up, and there's mold coming out of it.
With the paper, gotcha. Yeah, no, not doing anything like that. Nope.
Okay. Another good question.
Rich, did you ever play in television baseball? For those of the folks out there, you got to join the I'm a Shill baseball. This is a great. Did you know that Major League Baseball?
I actually like that shirt.
Did you? Well,
The thing that Pat and Ian were asking about was that motorcycle game that they said was something that was on Android.
Yeah.
And they were giving you crap about. Explain what the hell happened with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought it up because this is just yet another misinformed thing that they tell, another lie. And again, I don't know if they're lying on purpose or they're just stupid, but I actually think it's just that they're lazy. I think that's it. They're just lazy. They just don't do any research at all. I mean, anyone who tries to watch their show, you see them like Googling stuff in real time. Like it's just zero preparation. It's lazy. So, and this is a perfect example, right? And so what it is, so there was 2 games that we showed. So we showed 23 games in our trailer. Now, I've always said from the beginning that we do not do direct ports and that every single game on our system is exclusive. Is that and they sit there and they go this and that, spouting their lies, spouting their hatred, so it's just absolutely ridiculous. And so, like, I knew Mike Kennedy before that whole thing. I met him at a lot of, because, I go to these retro game things. And this is my own opinion, and people can hate me for this opinion if they like, but I'm just telling you my own personal thing. Like, Mike Kennedy was a passionate guy. I don't think that he, thought up a plan where he could go and screw people. I don't think that was the case. I'm not trying to defend anything that he did at all. I'm just giving you my personal thing on it. I think what happened is he had a grand idea. He did a Kickstarter. He took a lot of money, and he was just in way over his head. And like, we have 30 full-time employees with full benefits. Hardware engineers, software engineers, firmware engineers, mechanical engineers, multiple people in all those positions making, there's not a single person in our company that makes under 6 figures, right? So these are all top of the line AAA folks. And so, that's a real hardware company, right? You have to do this stuff internally. And I think what happened is he didn't realize what he was getting himself into. But where he made the big mistake was then trying to, I think, he got screwed by a couple people on the outside that he was contracting, and then he tried to fake some things, this and that. But anyway, I just want to say that. Now with Ouya, the thing about that is that this was run by folks who weren't real game makers. They weren't game makers. Rich, there's 600 years of experience just on our corporate executive team. We've worked on the biggest projects ever of all time in the video game industry, right? Yeah, we actually have this list for the investors, for when we talk to investors, and it's a sheet, and it has like 70 of the top-rated products in the world, and not just hardware, not just software, but the hardware as well, And so we know what we're doing. Now, I don't know if the guys over at, and again, I know Michael Arts, who's the president of Atari VCS. I've known him for 20 years, actually. Creative Labs, he used to work there, and I was an audio guy making audio cards. I think Mike's, I think he's a nice guy. But I'll always be honest and upfront, right? That's the big disconnect that these hardcore elitists, and again, there's some of them in here saying nasty things about us, going through, and it's not the majority. It's a handful of douchebags. And they're all hardcore elitists, not hardcore gamers. Hardcore gamers like our system too, but these elitists, they're racists. They're literally gaming racists. They're literally gaming racists, meaning, somebody just said I sound like a social justice warrior. You couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm an East Coast Italian, and I'm the most unpolitically correct person on the planet. So, and again, people are like, they're tweaking out right now. They're like, oh, dude, you're this and that. We're having fun here. Give me a break, right? If you get, everyone wants to say, oh, he said this, he said that. Can we have fun? Are we talking about video games? People who are taking this too seriously can go F themselves. Like, seriously.
We're going to have fun. So we're going to the questions now, both regular chat and super chat.
Tommy got triggered. People are saying, I got triggered? No, I'm just having fun and being passionate. The folks in there, they're peeing their pants right now.
So Mr. Tellerico, please help fight the good fight against Sony. That's why you're doing right. Hey, Rich and Tommy, how you doing? Give extra size dairy, 200 Obama bucks. Thank you.
Did this guy just call people criticizing his overpriced, underpowered console the equivalent of racist? I've got no hatred for the console, but it seems like he's overindulged on his own Kool-Aid.
Oh, please. I mean, take a freaking joke, people. Like, seriously. Take a joke. God, you're so uptight.
I'm so stoked for this and so happy I ordered mine.
And, oh gosh, what the hell was the other? I saw that.
That was interesting. Should be back.
Non-gamer type. But if there's I think in regards to whales, 5% of the whales of the world, only 5% of them are in the United States. See, and this is a guy versus girl thing as well too. Is that like guys? A lot of guys are stubborn. Like they won't spend money on mobile games. They're like, because like I don't know if you're like me, Rich, but I'm like, yeah, I'll wait till tomorrow and for my tickets to go up. But like my wife though, oh, unicorn, $10, I get it. So,
see, I'll stop playing the damn game before I start spending money on that stuff.
But that's not everybody. That's not everybody. So no, it's not just about the whales. And again, this is the thing, Rich, is that again when you look at the numbers, the sheer numbers of people that play mobile, keep in mind that the average spend is between $70 and $90 per person per year on mobile. So if you do that, then if it was just a small percentage of whales, that means like if you do the math on it, it'd be like the whales are spending $1 million each or something. It doesn't add up. A lot of people spend a lot of money on mobile games per year. By the way, how do you think they survive? You think Candy Crush is crushing it because of like a small percentage of people? Yeah, they're crushing it.
So what's the furry fighting game system? What's the furry fighting game system?
Oh yeah. So in our trailer from last year, I'm coughing. I don't have COVID. I swear. My throat's dry, so I got so much water. And these amazing I'm a Shill in television mugs. Get them now on IntellivisionAmico.com. You put in the code I'm a Shill, IMASHILL. You put in I'm a Shill, and you get 20% off. And we're going to give all the proceeds to a charity that people here are going to help us figure out. And I'm going to personally match the funds of all the profits. I'm going to match it, so we're going to cover. Now I forgot what I was talking about.
They're asking a funny question, but I actually meant to ask you this question. Does it have blast processing? What are you using for processing?
I don't want to say because that's not what we're about, right? If I were to say, oh, it's such and such a chip, people would it's just one other thing that they can rip us apart about. Because to us, it's not about speed. It doesn't matter what the chip is. It doesn't matter. The games are about having simple fun with other people. That's what it is. And look, I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5 or a Nintendo Switch or an Xbox One or an Xbox Series X. So don't even worry about it because it's none of that stuff. What we're talking about is bringing it back to what we grew up on, which is fun games that didn't matter the graphics. So anyway, that's the issue.
You get $2,000
There you go.
I'm serious. No, I'm saying Konami's doing absolutely nothing with their iPhones. And it's family enough. It can be like PG.
I can tell you this, Rich, is that Jason Enos, who worked at
So the next question we have critiques. People only play mobile games because it's with them. Any market research, tablet games / mobile games played at home, that puts this to bed? I'm not really sure what they're asking.
Well, I don't understand that question. Can you say that again?
Yeah, if we see it in the comments, we'll go back. There are a lot of mobile gamers because smartphones do more than just gaming. Unless you are planning to release a phone app, how are you going to break? This is a good question. How are you going to break into the mobile market with just your device? I'm curious.
Say again. I don't.
So
quite understand
what he's trying to say is that the reason why there's such a big install base,
is because everybody has a phone because they use it as a phone. Yeah, well, it's very simple. Hey, there's David Perry. Look at that. David Perry just gave you $100. Look at that.
Oh shit.
Now, David Perry, for everybody who doesn't know, David Perry was the programmer of all those games I mentioned: Earthworm Jim, Disney's Aladdin, Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. He was the founder of Shiny, Cool Spot. And he's been my best friend for almost 30 years. I was the best man at his wedding. He was the best man at my wedding. Dave was the guy who raised. Sorry, to answer that last question though, Rich, because we didn't get to the heart of that, where they brought up a good point, which is, look, people use their mobile phones all the time because, to play games, because they have it in their pocket all the time. My point, though, is that you can't play this with other people. So the only way that early adapters are going to pay $5.99 for a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X. It's just fact, right? Now, which one's going to sell more? Well, the least expensive one's going to sell more. But the early adapters, they can slap a $600. I think they can slap a $600 price tag on it if they have ultra amazing software that people like Mindboggle buy. Now, again, my personal opinion, people might hate me for this, but I haven't really seen anything running on those two systems, and I haven't seen a system. Don't get me wrong, but just the stuff that everybody has seen, it hasn't blown me out of the water. Like high-end PCs are pretty freaking spectacular at this point. So we're already seeing that kind of amazing, high-end graphics and stuff. But again, it all comes down to the whole Amico idea: is that who cares about graphics if the game isn't fun, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to see too, as time goes on, you'll see the games will wow you in terms of when they finally start really implementing ray tracing. Because we're seeing that they've shown it's not like I have a graphics card, which is RTX, but it's still half big. But I think next gen consoles with ray tracing hardware built into it, we're seeing that. I think games are going to get do the better processors, they're going to get better constructed environments, better AI, smarter AI. Yes, so we'll see. It's just not there yet. We're just basically like, I don't know if you watched Austin Evans video on the Series X. They just showed Xbox One X games running on there because they weren't showing off next gen software. Right? So it's still a wait and see. But yeah, we should see what happens this holiday season. Even if the system's going to say the PS5 is, for example, $600 and the Xbox, which I don't think would be that way. The Series X is $550. If there's a must-have game for the PS5, that still may lead people to spend an extra $50 on the other console. There's a must-have game for it.
And so, Rich, let's let me throw this out to you. Let's say they're both around $500 to $550, right? How many games are going to be available this Christmas for each machine, you think? 5, 7, 10 maybe, tops, right? How many of those are going to be couch co-op? Knowing what you know about PlayStation 3 when it was released, PlayStation 2 when it was released, Xbox One when it was released, PlayStation 4 when it was released, how many typically couch co-op games are available on day one? Maybe. And is that couch co-op game going to be completely hyper casual so that anyone can play it? And then you're going to need to buy a second controller, which is going to be $70 easy. And then the game's going to cost $20, $40, $50, $60, right? So again, that's our proposition. So people, again, so if you're a non-gamer and your choice this Christmas is, well, geez, if I want to play a game with 4 people, with my kids, right? I can buy a PlayStation 5 for $500 plus 3 more controllers. Okay, now we're at $700, and then a $50, $60 game, $800. Or I can, have an Amigo for $249 or whatever, and it has 8 players, and all the games are $999 or less, and blah blah blah. So you can see how we're always going to be half or a third of what the other next gen consoles are going to be. And then people say, yeah, but a Switch Lite is $199. Yeah, great. And show me 4-player game on the Switch Lite where you can't take the things off. So that means you're going to need 4 Switches or Switch Lites or a Switch Lite, and all these kind of ideas and games are being made right now. So the quartering is here. The quartering.
Is he really? What is it?
Yeah, right there. He says, "Why don't I have one of these on my set yet?" I love that guy. The quartering. I've never talked to him in person, but we've messaged over Twitter. Quartering. I need to get you one of these, my friend. You need to have one of these. You and Rich and all my other favorite shills. And I'm going to send you an Intellivision T-shirt. We're going to send you an Intellivision T-shirt here. I think, what the shirt I think the quartering needs? This is the one that the quartering needs right here. He needs this shirt because this is what he is.
He's a rebel.
This is the rebel shirt. So for people who don't know. So, and again, by the way, this is a next generation system, folks. And I know you're going to say, oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Shut up, little horn. COVID, so let's take more money. It has nothing to do with it. That was an ignorant comment. balls. But you know what our killer app is the machine itself. Because again, remember, everybody, the haters out there say I never answer the tough questions, but here we are. Rich is asking me every tough question, and we're opening up. There's over 1,000 people watching this right now, so feel free, whatever tough question you want to ask, now is your absolute time. But to answer that particular much, because I have a hand in every single game that's being put on Amico. So make no mistake, if this thing comes out and it tanks, I will take 100% of the blame on that. So I'm just putting that out there right now. I'm not going to blame anyone else except myself. Right now, and I want everybody to answer me in the stream. What if I said right now that this box was $150? Would people think that that's too high? Yes or no? Let's see it in the comments. If it was $149, would people enjoy that? Would people do it? $149. Of course, they're all going to say yes, and a couple of douchebags are going to say no. I get it. If you're into games with blood and violence and sexual content and kids in sexual compromising positions and rape on the Nintendo, if that's what you want, then buy a Switch. Just don't. It's not what we're into, and that's fine. I'm not against that stuff. I'm just saying it's not for us. It's one of the things that makes us unique, and like I said earlier, it's the number 2 most important thing when we do our focus group testing. The number 2 thing. Number 1 is simplicity, and number 2 is having it be safe for their kids. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Disneyland doesn't have strip joints in it.
Maybe they should. But all kidding aside,
hey, let's face it, Rich. You know damn well, both me and you, if we had the opportunity to get a lap dance from The Little Mermaid, we'd be all over. True or false?
Good point. I'm not going to deny that. So we'll see. Look, I know you've done the focus groups. I'm not on board, guys. I'm not 100% sold on that. And if that's going to work, we'll see if it works. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I kind of agree with Top Loaded Gaming is that there is parental control.
That's right. And the other thing too, Rich, is that not only that, but I even told them, I said, look, every time they do a podcast about us, they get a whole bunch of information wrong. Mostly because I think they're just lazy and they just can't be bothered, right? But whatever. But they do a podcast, they say a bunch of wrong information, they get statistics wrong, they do all this stuff. And then I reach out and I say, hey guys, look, we don't even have to do it on your channel. I'll call you on the phone. I'll tell you, let me give you some information privately on the phone, or I'll bring you to Intellivision and you can play the game, and they won't even do that, Rich. Yet, they'll sit there and lose their minds and get completely unhinged and call you a shill and get all freaked out and blah, blah, blah. For anyone who's ever interviewed me or who said they might think the system might be interesting, anyone they tear down. Yet they won't ask, and they keep saying, oh, all those softball questions. Really? Have we answered 1,000 people in here? There's 1,000 people watching right now. Is there a single question that I've dodged? Is there a single softball question that you gave? No. So not only do they tear people down who ask questions, but they won't even talk to me about it. This is insanity. It shows what cowards they are.
Well, I'm sure that people in the comment section are going to say, or maybe they're going to say that I didn't jump down your throat. I'm not going to do that. There's no reason to. There's nothing here that's the one thing, the biggest concern I had, there was that one motorbike game and you explained it and how platformers going to work. You explained that. I'm going to try it now, and hey, that solves the problem with it. Then I'm happy. That was really it. I know the audience that you're trying to go for. There's nothing here that has there's nothing to expose. Even though my podcast is called Expose, there's nothing to expose. I don't know what the hell to say. I'm not going to look for dirt. You didn't do a Kickstarter. You didn't put a fake motherboard in a demo unit that was for a capture card. You didn't take money from a crowdfunding and promise a console 12 different times that hasn't come out yet. And then it's based on a dual core processor that you can get from a vending machine for 50 cents. You're not doing any of that. So I don't know what else to say.
Hardcore platformers than you realize. But anyway, that's. Yeah.
So one guy just said, hey Rich, aren't you going to call me out because I said there were rape games on the Nintendo Switch? That's a fact, buddy. Sorry. I mean, I'm not, again, I'm not you're literally gaming racist.
And here comes the man, the myth, the legend. Hello. Intro guy's making me a coffee because I couldn't go get it myself, but we're shilling more in television.
I'm a shill.
This is the CEO of Intellivision, Tommy Tellerico. This is the bearded lumberjack intro guy. All right, guys. Tommy, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Rich? If people enjoyed this and people would like to, maybe we can do it again in a month from now or something.
Yeah, absolutely. The
fun.
viewership was amazing. It was absolutely awesome. So,
Great.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tommy, for coming through. And
all right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
And yeah, we'll have
Television Rico.
Yeah, we'll definitely have him back on. So thank you so much, Tommy.